Hey, 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 everybody. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday. Thank you for joining in. Grand Risings, Kier. Thank you for jumping on, Queen. Good morning. Good morning. How's your morning going so far, Queen? And so I am all by my lonesome this morning. Unfortunately, my partner, my partner in blessings. I'm not gonna say partner in crime, right? Because we speak in positivity. So my partner in blessings here, Miss Cebu, Mr. Teacher Booker, wasn't feeling too well. She's been a little sick for the last few days and need to go get some follow-ups done. So please keep Satitra in your prayers, everybody. Pray healing over her and strength to and knowledge for the medical staff to figure out help her figure out what's going on. So definitely want to say thank you for your prayers in advance. But yes, please keep us in your thoughts. Good morning, Mr. Shabazz. The hubby's in the building. Grand Risings, King. Grand Risings. Thank you for joining this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Deja. Thank you for jumping on. So I'm not going to be too long today because, I feel like, the piece of me is missing here. Miss Cebu is not in the building. So definitely wanted to just kind of go over what we talked about last week. We had a challenge of just no spend November, right? We implemented this challenge. And for us, it's more so about, what are the things that we're doing that we're overspending on, right? Are we shopping on Amazon for things that we don't need? Are we going out to eat 4 or 5 times a week, right? Even cutting that down to maybe once or twice a week, depending on what your spending habits look like, would be beneficial to you and your pocketbook, right? So I just want to say if anyone didn't have a chance to check out last week's live, definitely feel free to go back and check that out. You can look at it on my page, the teacher's page. We also have our YouTube channel at Tips and Tea Live on YouTube, where you can also go back and watch last week's episode. So we're going to dive back into it again this week. But again, I just want to say welcome in, everybody. Grand Risings, Bossy. Good morning, Steve. Thank you, Kier, for sending your prayers. Good morning, Deja. Thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. Yes, good morning, good morning. All right, and shout out to Kier because she's also one of the queens from last week who volunteered for the No Spend November challenge. Kier, let me know how that's going for you. How you been doing on your No Spend November challenge? I had a couple hiccups, I'm not gonna lie, but I think I've been definitely doing better. So last week, I would say for the no spend challenge, I wanted to just cut down on how much we were eating out during the week because there was a couple weeks where I wasn't feeling well, so I was not cooking, and we was lighting up that Uber Eats like every other day. So this week, I would definitely want to cut that down and go from I think we ordered food out the previous week at least 4 times that week, 4 or 5 times. This week, we got it down to like 2 times. All right, so that was definitely something I had a goal for myself, and we cut that down. And I've been avoiding Amazon and Shein and all the shopping apps. I've been trying to keep away from them, um, going to the grocery store, going to the supermarket, Walmart, and things like that, not walking down, the knickknack aisles and things of that nature, trying to avoid picking up anything extra. And then focusing on eating healthier items, right? And cutting out the snacks. Sometimes I just spend a lot of money on just buying snack foods for myself. So that's another thing that I decided that I want to kind of cut out for the next couple weeks was buying all the cookies and snack cakes and things like that. So all the little things we don't think about it, but it adds up and it does help. And look, it's better for my health as well. But just shout out to everyone from who came back to watch the live this week and any new people that's on the live. Thank you for tuning in to our Tips and Tea Live. Mainly for those who are new that's watching, we do this live because we want to help other people to find information and tips about, just different financial strategies they can take, things the teacher and I've been through. We also have guest speakers that come on that talk about and share their stories as well. So we go over everything from credit tips to starting a business to funding on both the personal business side. We also talk about building credit, whether it's personal business credit, taxes, everything that life pretty much throws at you on the financial side. And then we also take it over to the personal side. We are advocates for self-care, spiritual healing in your journeys, right? Also mindset and, just repairing what was once broken in you. Okay, so we talk about all these things on this live. So if you ever want to check out any of our previous lives again, you can look into our YouTube page on Tips and Tea Live and look at any of those past lives and see what our Tips and Tea is all about. All right, so let's dive into it, everybody. Grand Risings, Grand Risings. I see Michelle on the live this morning. Shout out to you, Queen. Yes, yes, Charlene. Good morning, good morning. All right, I have Kier here. She said, it's okay. I'm spending less eating out because I'm pretty much staying in. I know that's right. Sometimes you just can't go outside. Sometimes you just have to stay in the house. I totally get it. Totally get it. Well, at this point, we're our second weekend for the No Spend Challenge for November. And for those who didn't know what that was, who just jumped on, so teacher and I basically implemented a challenge last week where we wanted to start looking at how much money we're spending out for the month. And we wanted to cut out those extras. So we implemented a challenge where we're not spending all this extra money out for the whole month of November. So for the next 30 days, we're cutting out eating out a whole lot. We're watching, like, what are these coffee runs costing us to Dunkin', to Starbucks? Are we buying breakfast and lunch every day? Right? Can I now pack my lunch? Am I scrolling on social media on TikTok Shop and Amazon and just purchasing gadgets and things like that? My husband knows I'm officially in rehab from purchasing too many gadgets on TikTok Shop and Amazon. Yes, yes, I have a serious gadget problem. I'm not a fashion girly where I like designer purses and shoes and clothes and all these things, but you can get me with a gadget. That's my problem right there. I will buy the blender, the new juicer, the new thing that's going to help you grate the cheese faster. So I definitely do that. So I know where my problems lie and the things I need to work on. So I've been avoiding going on Amazon and scrolling on TikTok because those things do pop up for me. So if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Right. So sometimes you got to take yourself out of certain environments as well to prevent you from spending money. Is your thing is you go out to happy hour every week? Maybe sometimes you need to stay at home and create your happy hour in the house, right? Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's with mocktails or a nice cocktail and you doing a movie night in instead of going out and spending $100 in the restaurant, that's some great alternatives. So, definitely want to just point that out that you don't have to always spend money to have fun, right? You don't have to necessarily go out to have fun. This month is going to be a good reflection for you to take a look at what you're spending your money on and seeing now where you can now put that money. So, any money that we're saving this month and then we're not spending on ordering takeout or shopping online or these extra streaming services and so on, we're taking that money and now we're putting it in our high yield savings account, right? Where we can earn a higher interest rate. And if you don't have a high yield savings account yet, definitely feel free to reach out to one of us. We can definitely help you get started. Actually, any one of our team members here in the chat here can also help you with getting going with a high yield savings account as well. So just reach out to us. We'll give you more information on it. But yeah, so let me just check with the audience here. So anybody else were watching what they were spending this month? Are you all Christmas shopping? Let me ask that too. Are you going to Christmas shop on Black Friday? I'm boycotting. I am boycotting this year. I will not be shopping on Black Friday. I actually haven't shopped on Black Friday in a while just because the deals aren't there. Honestly, you're not getting a TV, the 75-inch TV for $200 anymore. And plus, I don't even need any TVs because I don't even watch this much. Okay, we have a comment from Kier. She said, I found that if you tend to spend when you go out, so I try to limit the time I go out. But when I do, I already know what I'm going to get and not just there spending like crazy. Yes, that's a great tip. That's a gem, Kier. Thank you, Queen. Sometimes you don't need to stay out for 4 or 5 hours. Just go out for an hour. Hang out with some people. They start running it up on the bill. It's time to go. Exit stage left. This is my left, everybody. Exit stage left. Great tip, Kier. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. Anybody else is watching what they're spending this November? Any gems or tips that you want to share with everybody that's helping you? We also want to be able to help other people as well. Yeah, so I also want to say, when you decide to save, right? You're not only you're being proactive, right? You're being proactive and you're really looking out for the future you, right? Because you don't know what's coming, right? You want to live in the present, but you also want to be able to steward that money that God is blessing you with. So in this time, especially now with the government shutdown, they're cutting back SNAP benefits. People are definitely losing their jobs left and right. Like I've been talking to so many of our business partners and just some friends who their spouses, their partners, their children are seeing a cutback in their hours or their position is just being cut, eliminated altogether. So we want to be a little bit more proactive, right? And watch what, we're spending our money on. So if you can, now is the time to really look at that. Do we really, honestly, this Christmas, do we need to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on toys for these kids? Right? Don't they already have a bunch of toys? Maybe we getting there something that it looks like something else, right? Maybe instead of that, we're putting more quality time in with them. We're spending more family nights, having more game nights together, right? Um, I more so remember the memories than the toys when I was a kid, right? Us going to the beach together as a family, us going to play basketball at the park as a family, watching my mom trying to move around my dad with the basketball. So sometimes, it might not look what we think it should look like as far as what we spending our money on. Sometimes just spending more time is even better. Yes, Kier said, no, she is not Black Friday shopping. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I guess everybody else is spending money this Christmas because I don't see no one else saying they're not Black Friday shopping. What are you all spending your money on this year? Let me know. Maybe I missed something, an advertisement or a sale that I missed out on. But there are other ways that you can also look to save money or look to also create some ways to now produce a secondary income. So, wanted to kind of just touch on entrepreneurship, right? And how that also can create another stream of income for you, especially if you're in a position where you're not quite sure what it's going to look like for you in the future, right? With the hours and with the cutbacks that's happening, right? Some people might look at it as a side hustle, um, even becoming like a referral affiliate, right? To some of these bigger brands like Amazon and Netflix, right? And just different things that you can do to help set yourself up where you're producing now some type of additional income, right? So you want to look into what your skills are, right? What can you build upon? What type of leadership do you have? Are you good at networking? Are you good at just spreading the word, right? Look at what you're already skillful at, and maybe you can turn that into an additional income for yourself, right? So when you're looking at entrepreneurship, we're looking at purpose, we're looking at legacy, something that kinda outlives a paycheck, right? So, these are some things that we can definitely look into and see where we can definitely grow from. Good morning, everybody. I see Nay and Nita just joined the live. Good morning. Yep, I see Nay says she normally stays away from Black Friday because it's not worth it. Not like it used to be. Good morning. I see my cousin in the chat. Hey, Barbara Ann. She said, yes, she's staying away from Black Friday shopping as well, too. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. I don't know if you were on the last live that we did, but we're doing a no spend November challenge where we're, cutting back on eating out at the restaurants. We're cutting back on shopping, right? For me, myself this year, I'm not going to spend as much on shopping for my nieces and nephews as far as for this Christmas. I'm more so going, purchase them some clothes because you can always use some warm clothes through the winter time, but also taking that money that I would have spent on toys for them and now putting it in a high yield savings account for them. All right. So that's another thing that you can do, especially if you have a lot of little cousins, nieces and nephews, your own children. You know, think about what you were going to spend on them this Christmas. And maybe cut that in half, right? Maybe we're not spending as much this year. And instead of spending that money on toys or video games, things like that, we've now taken that money and we're putting it in a high yield savings account for them. So that's another thing you can do. And then creating a way for yourself to make additional income. You know, I know so many people now, so many entrepreneurs that's out there. This is actually National Entrepreneur Month for the month of November. So shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there that's, either just started figuring out what they wanted to do and jumping into entrepreneurship, or for those who've already been doing it for a while and you're still here, right? I think you should definitely pat yourself on the back for that. Big shout out to all of you entrepreneurs out there that's growing and just continue to work your business, right? So just definitely want to give that out to you all and, for your resilience because entrepreneurship is definitely not for the weak. There's going to be some tough days, but, the payoff in the long run can definitely be very beneficial. And I look at it like this too with entrepreneurship. I mean, if you go into you working a 9 to 5 job, right? You have tough days doing that corporate job too, doing that 9 to 5 job. It's not all sunshine and rainbows either way you look at it. It's just how do you want to spend your time? Do you want to spend your time building someone else's dream, or do you want to spend some time also building yours, right? And you can definitely, when you're getting your start, you can do both, right? I'm not saying that jump right into entrepreneurship and quit the job that you've already have, but as you're learning and growing in your business that you're starting, now you're also doing something for yourself. Yes, happy entrepreneur month. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So keep that in mind. When you're first starting out, it does take some time to build a business. And you literally have to plant seeds, right? When you're building a business. When you plant a seeds, for those who ever garden or even watch something grow, right? I know we all took biology in high school, so you kind of know the start of the process there. Whenever you're starting something new, you plant a seed. And it's not going to just happen for you overnight. And there might be some hiccups at some point. Sometimes you might think that that plant that you planted that seed for, you might think that thing is dead, but you just keep working on it. You keep watering it. You keep talking to it, nurturing it. And eventually it's going to bloom the fruit. It's going to bloom the flowers that you were seeking, right? But it does take some time. Amen. Yes. Yes, cousin. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I just want to put it out there that, entrepreneurship, I know we all think of it as a dream, right? We hear the influencers talk about it, how you can just jump into this business and you can be making tens of thousands, 100 thousands of dollars a month, you know, but there's a process. Anything in life, there's a process. I was actually listening to something that Sarah Jakes Roberts was talking about just this morning, and she was talking to people about you know, testifying on your process, right? Because some people just look at where you're at now, right? And they already see what progress that you made. And they just want to jump into that piece. They want to jump into the finished product, but we're never really finished, right? You have to think about every day as a process. Every day is something new coming. Every day you have to work on it. Every day you're learning, right? This is not something that's just easy that you can just snap your fingers and it's done, right? There's been ups, there's been downs, there's been times we cried, there was definitely wins celebrated, there was joyous moments, there was love, there was laughter. All these things are a part of life, and it also flows into your business. It also flows into your relationships. Everything has a process, right? But through that process, you learn. Through that process, you grow. These are things that, you know, if you skip these steps in that process, how are you going to be able to continue to manage the business, keep the relationship, right? We just can't skip to the happy parts. We can't just skip to what is already being produced because then you won't know how to manage it. I'll give you an example. So, way back when, 20 years ago, um, Aziz and I, we bought our first building, right? We got jumped into the real estate game and we bought our first property. And through that process, we learned a lot. So we lived in one apartment, we bought a two flat, and we rented out another apartment to help manage the bills that were coming in, right? But at this point, now we're landlords. Now we could have at that point tried to pay someone else to manage it for us, but we were brand new in managing real estate and owning a property. And we literally got in it and we were more hands-on. We was in there cleaning the apartments when the tenants moved out. We were in there painting, you know, when something went wrong, trying to see what we can fix and then bring in additional support and help when we needed to. But, you know, shout out to the husband. He was the main one that was in those trenches, right? And I was there to also help. But it also helped us in that process with that first building being more hands-on later on now to where we're at, where we do have a property management company that's helping us with some of the rentals that we have. You know, now they're handling that process for us with doing the repairs and things like that. So it did buy us back some of our time. But now we also know when they say this is wrong in the apartment, this needs work. We've been through that. So we know what it looks like and we know how much it costs. So we can also steward what's happening with this property management company. So they're not taking advantage of the fact that we don't know anything, right? We've signed up for Section 8. We've gone through the process with new tenants, right? We've been through interviewing people to help them get into the rental. So sometimes you have to take those steps, right? You have to learn. You have to be able to take what you learn from that. That way you'll be able to multiply it in the future, right? So again, I know we wanted to skip the process, but sometimes it's more beneficial for us to go through those steps so that we can learn. Yeah, we got to be patient. Yes, Kia, I love that. She says, absolutely be patient on the entrepreneur journey. Let's learn, grow, and be intentional. What it is that you are doing. Amen, Queen. Amen. Thank you for sharing. Yes, so where is all my entrepreneurs out there? Let's drop some hearts in the chat for our entrepreneurs that's running it up in the business. You know, you might, even if you're just getting started, you took that step. All right. So I just want to show some love this morning and drop some hearts for you all during this entrepreneurship month. I feel like I'm getting tongue tied. Entrepreneurship month. You about your business this month. Drop some hearts in the chat. Yes. Congratulations. Congratulations. Hey, shout out to Kier. She dropped her hearts in the chat. Thank you, Barbara Ann, for saying congratulations. Yes, yes. So if you do need some help starting your business, we do have some options here for you at Nove. We do have a way for you to actually start your LLC, right? If you're ready for that step, literally, we guide you through the application process, even help you get your EIN. On our end, we also help with making recommendations for business checking accounts for you, right? We do all that at no additional cost to you. Only thing you have to pay is your state filing fee. So if you need an option where you want to set up your LLC, we can help you get going in that process. And then we do have some additional tools and things that you can utilize. If you need an operating agreement, business licenses, permits, things like that, that we can also help you and assist you with. Yeah, shout out Nita and Jennifer. Look at all the entrepreneurs in the chat. Love it, love it. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. So, again, this month we're talking about our No Spend November challenge for those who are just jumping in and joining us. And we also honor National Entrepreneurship Month. So, with that, with the No Spend November challenge, I'm just going to put it out there again. If you're interested in joining the challenge, just shoot me a direct message. I'll give you the instructions that can help guide you along the way. And we even have a tracker, a daily tracker that you can record your progress throughout the day. So, again, last week I wanted to cut back on how many times I ordered food. I ordered takeout. Um, got it down to two this week. I'm striving for just one, right? Um, I think as we get closer to Thanksgiving, everybody is going to get a little bit easier because, unbeknownst to my family, some Thanksgiving leftovers going to last for a few days. I'm just saying. Yes. Unless somebody want to invite us over, then I don't have to worry about cooking. And I can just bring everything back with me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, I think it's gonna look a little different for us this year because this year we're not going home for the holidays. We're actually gonna stay down here in Cancun, and I don't have an oven. We just have like an air fryer, like one of those toaster ovens. So it's gonna be interesting trying to cook Thanksgiving dinner here at the house that we're staying in with no oven. So I might have to definitely figure some other alternatives out. If anybody got any ideas, let me know. Drop some ideas in the chat. I do not want to purchase though what are those roasting oven things because again I'm on a no spend November challenge, so I can't be purchasing extra gadgets. All right, Nita, I got you. I will definitely send you that tracker. We'll add you to that chat. Yes, 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 and some of our other kings and queens have also joined. Somebody said that they are not going out at all. They're not trying to spend any money this November. I have a gadget problem. I am detoxing from buying gadgets on TikTok and Amazon. No special juicers this month. No easier cheese graters. Did y'all see that thing where you stick it to the countertop and you just spin the wheel and you put the cheese on the top and it come out a lot quicker. You don't have to worry about cutting up your fingers trying to grate some cheese for that mac and cheese. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm saying no to the gadgets. Yeah, I know. So teacher said that she was gonna continue to avoid going to Starbucks this month. Save some money on that end. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. All right. So, yeah, we talked about the No Spend November challenge and just about honoring entrepreneurship and, working your way through the process. You know, I want to just ask for anyone who already has a business, drop your business in the chat. Let's share. Drop your business name in the chats. What does your business do? For those of you who are thinking about starting a business, also drop in the chat what type of business do you want to start? And maybe we can also do some networking here in this chat. Put that out there as well too. All right. My cousin said, Barbara Ann said she's not going to be eating out this week. That's for the No Spend November challenge. I feel like we got a lot of challenges going on. We have the No Spend November challenge. We're doing no credit cards for Christmas, right? Where we're avoiding running up on the credit cards and paying higher interest rates on the things that we're buying for Christmas. Instead, we're putting that money into a high yield savings account and going shopping with that money instead. So that's another thing that we're doing for December. Shout out to Destiny Reedy again for creating that support group chat where she's dropping daily tips in that chat. We're also sharing our goals that we're reaching in that chat as well. So that's another one. If anybody's interested who's not already in that chat, let me know. We'll get you added to that one as well too. All right, all right. So, the queen's got thing to do. I can't say queens today. I say queen because I'm one queen short, but um it's a busy, busy day today. But I just want to say again, thank you all for tuning in to Tips and Tea Live. Again, if you're interested in the No Spend November challenge or you want the tracker to kind of help you with each and every day to see where your money is going and how you can continue to cut back, let me know and I will definitely get that over to you. And then as well, it's also Entrepreneurship Month. So shouting out to those who are interested in starting a business. Let us know. We can definitely help you here at Nove with the LLCs and helping you get started with that. Or if you're just also interested in another way to make additional income, let me know. We can talk about it a little bit later. But definitely appreciate everybody for jumping on. I do have some people dropping some things in the chat here. I have Nita. Her business is called Lifetime Journey LLC, and it empowers divorcees and single corporate women on their self care path. I love that. Thank you, Nita, for sharing. Thank you, Queen. That's dope. Kier, she has KY Consultant, motivate, inspire, and provide resources for people in her community. I love it. Thank you, Queens, for sharing your business. Anyone interested, definitely reach out to these queens directly. They can help you with more information. Nita also dropped her calendar link here. If you have one for yourself as well, go ahead and drop it in the chat. If you have a website, a calendar link you want to share, go ahead and share it here in this chat for everybody. Yes, yes. We don't gatekeep here. We sharing, we sharing. Yes, Carmen wants the tracker. Okay, I got you, Queen Jennifer. Tracker as well. Okay, let me mark this down. We're gonna get you the tracker. Okay, I have Carmen here. Next level, ULLC Transformational Coaching and Wellness. Love it. Thank you, Carmen. Yeah, Carmen has some really good wellness items over there as well too. She's gonna get you together physically. She's gonna get you together financially and mentally as well. Okay, get in tuned. Shout out to you, Queen. Thank you, everybody. All right. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. You can drop them here in the chat. If I don't catch it here in the chat live, I will follow up with you directly. But thank you again, everybody, for tuning in to Tips and Tea. I do have to run here in just a minute, but again, tune in next week, prayfully So teacher will be back. We'll be doing a part 3 on the No Spend November challenge. We're gonna actually share our wins from our No Spend November challenge and where we might have misstepped at because we're not perfect people. So we're gonna definitely share our journey on the live next week and then talk a little bit more about entrepreneurship. We're trying to see if we can get some guest speakers on as well to talk about their journeys and how they started their business and how it's going for them through this season where, you know, we have a lot of unpredictability going on. So love you all. Many blessings. Thank you for tuning in. If you are watching this live, please drop a 1 in the chat. If you're watching the replay, please drop a 2. But I will see you all next week. Until then, many blessings. Love you all.